In terms of reaction, this is Governor Pritzker of Illinois, who, by all accounts, wants to run for president. Take a listen.
I think there are people who are fomenting it in this country. I think the president's rhetoric often foments it. We've seen the January 6th rioters who clearly, have tripped a new era of political violence.
Congressman Donalds, is the both sides of the political violence argument enough anymore?
No, that was a very sick statement by J.B. Pritzker. He should be ashamed of himself. Look, the reality is that elected Democrats seeking power have decided to treat conservatives as if we are the enemy of this great country, and we disdain this great country, and that is simply not true, and they know it is not true. And so, yeah, they need to hold their side of the political aisle accountable. Both sides of them is just simply not going to be good enough anymore. This man, Charlie Kirk, he lost his life. He's not going home to his wife. He's not going home to his kids. And the only reason why anybody would even choose to assassinate Charlie Kirk is because of his political views and his willingness to stand firm on what he believed in. Anybody that knows the man knows him to be a gentleman, a class act through and through, somebody that would give you the shirt off his back if that's what you needed. That's who Charlie Kirk was personally. But this assassin, let's be clear, the reason why he took Charlie Kirk's life is because of his political views and his willingness to stand up for conservatism, for Western civilization, for Judeo-Christian values. And if J.B. Pritzker or any other Democrat can't see that, then frankly, they're not seeing what needs to happen in this country right now. People really need to take a look at themselves and understand we can disagree. That's fine. That's the American way of life. That's politics. But we have to respect the humanity of the people that we disagree with.
Yeah, the dehumanizing, and I think it's fair to say, and I tried to lay it out at the beginning of the show, of the right by the left, I think is singular and unique so far. Chairman, wanted to just bring you in on this point, and I keep trying to find a parallel in America. Maybe that's just what we do to find comfort or to understand and comprehend things currently. We want to look back. 1968, America was as divided as it is now. The Vietnam War is raging. MLK assassinated RFK, assassinated. For conservatives, that feeling that their leader has been taken from them, I think is a parallel, is it not?
I think it is. And look, what the difference is between now and 1968 is you did not have Republican leaders calling for assassinations. You did not have Republican leaders who were calling for political violence the way that you do on the left right now. President Biden weaponized the judicial system to go after President Trump. He called him every single name in the book and basically was leading the way to try and incite the violence that we have seen. President Trump survived 2 different assassination attempts. What we see today was clearly a political assassination. That this is coming from one side. You're absolutely right on that. And we don't see the remorse that is coming from the left at all right now. The fact is that we need to step back, right? One of the key tenets that we have in all of politics is an understanding the reason we have a government is to protect the people of our states, of our communities, of our nation. And right now, we really, truly need to step back and reflect on what it is that we're fighting for if it's not our families and our communities.
Yeah, a good friend of mine who has far more depth and experience than I do in this noted that in our recent memories, and I think Congressman Donalds, I can say for you and I, Chairman's a little older, that all of sort of the worst nights of American history in recent memory have a uniting quality. This one still does not. Chairman, Congressman, thank you both.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our NewsNation app right now on your phone, and you will get fact-based, unbiased news for all Americans.